Hey.
You know how last week I was telling you about
What
Bob Herzog, the guy that was like,
freakish Bob.
I slay with my face. I slay my face. I beat my face.
Yeah.
He is so funny. Hi.
Oh, Andrew, what do you tell?
Hi, we're live, guys. Welcome to the show.
I'm like,
Thank you for joining us.
hey, welcome to the replay if you've jumped on, and welcome to the show. We're going to have a great show tonight. We've got some Q&As happening that we get frequently asked by people to help start and grow your biz. Can't wait to see you soon. Cue the director.
Don't panic.
Panic. I think can you hear us through the intro? Oh! This is hilarious because we can't see what's happening. Hey, so tonight,
I
guys,
have to say, we actually get worse at this.
we actually,
We don't actually
I think because we
get
overthink
better.
it, eh? We overthink it.
We don't get better.
Hey, so guys, I'm going to chuck up and P's going to chuck up the Zoom link. So if you want to jump in tonight, you're more than welcome. You'll just come and sit offline until we bring you in. So we want you guys to hot seat tonight. But P,
Yes.
how's your week been?
Interesting. My week has been interesting. So, shall I talk about the good points first?
Talk about the good points. And I'm going to put the Zoom link up.
Okay. So, this week's been quite interesting. The great thing about this week is I got to attend Christine Sheehy's Plan a Books workshop. And it was really good. I mean, if you guys don't know, I've been writing my book for like 5 years. But I'm a lot closer now than I have ever been before. But I felt like I just needed just a little bit of advice from someone who writes books all the time. So I jumped in to her workshop, and it was really good. It just gave me a bit of clarity to the point that I'm going to catch up with her soon and just flesh out a few other ideas. So, I mean, I think, Nat, it's really important, when we get the experts in when we need them.
Totally. All about experts.
And I've been struggling with like my chapters for a while, and I've been trying to self-manage and do it myself. But I just thought, you know what?
How's that working for you?
I'm really good at self-managing myself. I don't get distracted at all.
Not too much.
No, I'm really
I agree
good.
with you though. Like especially with something as big as a book. Like I know that my dear friend Amy had an incredible ghostwriter help her because, as you know, it's a really big deal to write a book. So
Yeah.
I'm really pleased that you're getting Christine to help you because you've taken far too freaking long. I've been waiting for your book to come out and you still haven't written it.
Well, it's just that I want to make it, I don't want to rush it. I want to make sure that it's funny and quirky and it represents everything that I'm talking about. I probably have got too many stories, so I'm probably trying to put too much in.
You have to write a novel.
Yeah. And what else happened? I did my hair. It's actually looking pretty messy now that I look in the camera. Can you see? So yeah, I've gone totally bright, and I'm loving it. Do you love it?
So I love it so much that I actually have a pen that matches your hair colour, and you thought I bought it as a present.
I'm so glad you bought it as
got
a present.
It's got hot pink ink.
Oh, that's cool.
No,
I love that.
Thank you, notes to self, for my hot pink ink.
I
And
love
no, it's
these
not a present.
pens. I love these pens. I've got a yellow one, and I use it every day.
Who bought you that yellow one? They must
don't know, I
be
think they
amazing.
just
They
came-
must be a very thoughtful person. I feel they must know you quite well.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, Natalie bought it for me, and it's probably my favourite pen, so that's good.
Yay!
What else happened? So that was the good stuff, but, there's a saying, things come in threes, and I don't know if you've heard about this, but there's, bad things happen in threes, so I've had a bit of that this week, and I've tried not to stress about it. Well, not this week, but over the last 2 weeks. So my camera broke last week.
Yeah, that was pretty full on though, right? It was like time pressure.
Yeah, there was a lot of time pressure around that, and I'm still... I feel fine about it now because I've realised it was a good thing. And then 2 days ago, my car broke. And I was just like, what is going on? And thankfully it wasn't a big deal, and it was it was just a spark plug, and I got an amazing mechanic. He came to the house. He did house service.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, and fixed it. So, and then one other thing happened, but I'm not going to talk about that. But yeah, so 3 things.
But it's like suspense, man.
Yeah.
One other thing, but I can't talk about it.
But I mean, this sort of thing could really, in the past, like 5 years, this would have totally done me.
So what do you reckon's changed? Like, why are you dealing with things better?
I think it's because I've like tried to look at the good side. Like,
always look at the bright side of life.
Yeah. Without that. Yeah, like I always try to look, at the bright side, or, where is, this is good that it happened now because of this. My camera happened now, which is great because I am going to need it later.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Usually, I'm just real chill about it, and I think it's a lot to do with the people you hang out as well. If you hang out with real stressy people and they blow up the smallest things, you get into the habit to blow things up, and it's life. Cars break.
Yeah.
It's, and
do you think it's about trusting though, Peg? Like you trust that actually everything will work out and is working out, and you actually couldn't really control the car breaking, but you could control getting it fixed. So that's really cool.
Well, actually, I'm kind of disappointed because I was like,
get a
new car. Is this a good opportunity to get a new car? So I was like, it's a spark plug. Oh, okay, well.
Hey, Dave, on your page says hi.
Hi, Dave. Thanks for joining us. Now, we are going to put the Zoom link in, so if you are around, jump in. So do you want to introduce I know we've been talking about fluffy stuff. Oh, no, but actually, what about your week?
Thank
it's
you.
It's not all about me.
Thank you, P, for asking. This is the P show. You forgot the N, the P and the N show.
Oh, well, as my son would say, it is all about you, Mum.
Actually, a friend of mine, her husband has this T-shirt, and his name is James, and his T-shirt says, "You know what? It is all about James." And I was like, I'm going to get me one of those T-shirts. Yeah. Hey, so the really cool thing is I went and saw my amazing graphic designer. She's actually, firstly, an artist, Kate Hursthouse, and she also has Scribble Me This. Anyway, I chose her because her art's freaking epic. And I went and did my branding strategy with her, and she asked me a question. Man, her questions were good. They really stumped me, which is hard to stump me. Usually I'm like, pretty quick. And she asked me a question. Okay, Nat, if your business was an animal, what would it be? And I was like, an elephant in the room. Like, I was like, I don't know. I want to be cool. Like, I always want to be like cool and funny.
And you chose an elephant.
No. So she said to me, like, hey, Nat, like, what is the vibe that you have? And I'm like, you know what? As I've got older and as I've got into my brand and my business, I'm kind of like a cat who's just like, you know what? Mofos, I'm here. You either like it or you don't. And a cat has a very sense of self. Like a cat's like, I'm a cat, man. And it's very proud without being like, I don't know, a huge ego. So cue the cat video. This is the kind of sense of this, and we found this YouTube clip, her and I, and we had a giggle, and I wanted to share with you tonight because this is a pretty funny video. The cat on the escalator saying, if you need to step around me, then you need to come back around. So I chose a cat.
That's totally cats, I mean, I must admit, I do love cats. They're very, don't mess with me.
Don't mess with me. And this is what I'm about, and this is who I am, and I'm not changing for anyone. And I think that was cool. So I chose a cat. And then she said to me, okay, Nat, if you had to be a superpower, I'm like, dude, where do you get these questions from? Because they're like freaking me out. She's like, if you had a superpower, what would your business be? And I was like, in all seriousness, if I could bottle up confidence, and my superpower was I came over to you and I said, have a drop of my confidence juice, man, your business would go to next level because it's about confidence.
Can I be a lolly? Does it have to be confidence juice?
No, don't you? Don't you think? So for me, you know, I talk about imperfect action, belief.
So then who
action,
is that
right?
Superman? What is that what your superpower is?
It's just a superpower is a lot of the feedback I get from the women that I work with as businesses. Nat, you've given me the confidence to take the imperfect action, to increase my sales. So for me, my superpower is giving you the confidence.
Yeah, that's clever. It's interesting. Right. So if anyone has jumped onto our live and is with us, you know, tell us what your animal is.
It's not all about us, that's again, right?
Yeah. Would love to hear what your business animal is. I mean, I don't actually know what mine would be. That's kind of
like would it be like a proud?
I want to say
lion?
sloth. Only because I love sloths.
No, your business.
Yeah, I know, but I just love sloths.
Well,
actually, no. Yeah, well, see, this is me where I ask too many questions. What frame of mind do you put that in? Like, my favourite animal in the whole wide world is an otter.
Okay,
because they're cheeky and quirky and they're...
Yep, so if you wanted your brand to take the essence of an otter, is it cheeky and fun and playful? So that's an interesting thing for you to check if your brand is that for you.
I think so. Who agrees?
Oh, it's an interesting question though, right? To ask yourself, like, if you're an otter. If you do want to come on to the Zoom and you're like, I don't want people to see me, I can actually turn your camera off and you can come in audio.
Yes.
However, this is a TV show. We've got to see you, but we don't also want it to put it off. Again, though, if you don't want to jump on, you can pop your questions up. So tonight, P and I are going to actually
we've had
talk about some questions.
We've had a few questions, so from a few people when we put it out earlier that don't want to be seen or anything. So one of the other things that before we jump on with Zooms, if we've
got no Zooms yet.
Well, we can move into some questions. Is I've got a tiny obsession now.
Tiny. She says it's tiny obsession.
Pun on words. So I got a real problem, and it's funny because one of the questions that came in sort of was around this, but distractions. I can basically say that this obsession is a really big distraction. I think.
But do you reckon if it wasn't this,
it would
be something else? Is that your natural state?
No, I've never been this obsessed.
Ooh,
wow. I'm really obsessed. Like I'm working
Any doctors on the house?
Yeah, I'm working really long hours and then I'm spending 3-4 hours a night researching. Like,
wow.
I know. So first, my obsession.
Tell them what it is.
And if you don't know, it's tiny houses. So I'm absolutely obsessed with having a tiny house. Building a tiny house and having it exactly how I wanted to have it. And like I know, you know, what sort of materials to use. I know what sort of trailer I want. I know, I know the square footage of where, I just know everything.
You do
Not everything.
You do know that I know someone who builds tiny houses, that's their business.
Oh, really?
I've got to tell you that.
Yeah.
You'll be like texting me tonight, give me the number. Can I have the number? Give me the number.
Well, no, I want to build the tiny house myself. Like I want to, not all myself. I'm going to get a builder to help.
I would
obviously.
pay to see that.
Yeah. Well, I heard that our producer, Andrew, is really clever. He's laughing, but it's so true. So I'll be using my friends. But the thing is, now I don't know what to do. Now I'm sort of like I said to you earlier, I'm really confused. Like, do I build a tiny house? Do I not build a tiny house? So
actually,
I'm
you
really
and I
obsessed.
talked about the difference in rent and stuff too, and we were like, we thought you were going to get like heaps more savings, so that's why I said to you, connect it to that. If you were on your deathbed, I know that's pretty terrible to take you there, but
yeah.
would you do it out of regret? Would you be like, damn, I wish I'd had a tiny house? Can you go? Okay, here, KKP.
Yeah.
Let's see if this is a real thing. I reckon that you should go and stay in a tiny house for the weekend.
Yeah,
for a
I
weekend.
probably need a bit longer than a weekend, but yeah.
Like a
week. I probably should do that. But then what if I don't like it and I still want a tiny house? Anyway, I'm totally obsessed. And like I've designed 6 tiny houses in the way, because every time I do more research, I think, this would be a better way to do it, And I've got like secret compartments and yeah, it's Does anyone else have that sort of, like I don't think I've ever been this obsessed. Like
I think it's pretty cool though.
Yeah, I'm like quite obsessed.
So if it makes you feel better, and actually before I tell you what I'm obsessed about is, and I'm hoping that I'm gonna pronounce it properly, do you reckon that's right? Raisha. She wants to be a bee. If her animal would be a bee.
Oh, that's a good one. A bee.
If you're
not
watching,
so much
babe,
a bee because I'm allergic to them, but a bumblebee.
Chuck in, babe, why you've stuck bee. Is it because you've got a sting?
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Is it like you like making honey? Like, explain it a little bit more. That'd be cool. Hey, so my obsession, funnily enough, right, is quite obsessed with my business. If you haven't noticed. And so what I've learned to do is I love reading books, non-business books. And so Audible, I love listening to audio books. So in the mornings when I'm walking the dog, I'm not listening to podcasts and I'm not reading business books. I'm actually listening to some standard books, which is really, really cool. And I'm actually quite obsessed with that, if that's an obsession. Like, I go to sleep now listening to my audio book. Like being read to sleep like a baby or something, and I wake up and I'm like, oh, it's been an hour on or something crazy.
Oh yeah, that's sort of how I am with podcasts. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I've even downloaded the Tiny House podcast.
No kidding.
I know, I'm serious. I know all the websites. I've watched all the videos.
It's pretty
I'm in all the Tiny House groups, and to the point now I can't escape it. So it's really bad. It's a really bad way to go.
Guys, if you've just jumped in, because I see a few more likes are coming in, if you've just jumped in, there's a link below. Have a look at it. Jump in, because we'd love for you to jump in a hot seat tonight. And what that actually means is you get to ask P and I any questions that you've got. Are you starting a business? Are you trying to grow your business? And a hot seat is just that. We'll ask you like what kind of business you're in, where you're at, where do you want to go, and then we're going to give you our professional opinion. So it's your chance to get some information tonight. And we're also going to be talking about our most frequently asked questions that we both get asked. And the cool thing is we get asked really opposite questions, which actually makes sense because, you know, our strengths are very different. So
Nat, what is one of your most, while we're waiting for Monique Doy to jump in, why don't
you
we
probably just called her out.
Why don't you tell one of your questions that you get asked all the time in your business?
Hey, so Raisa.
Issa, it's pronounced.
Oh, Issa. So you don't. Hi, Issa is pronounced. Okay. So not sure, but I reckon it's to do with working for the good of others. Ooh.
Oh, that is so
that
good.
That is amazing.
Isn't it funny how all of us had 3 different interpretations, and then as soon as she said it, it was like...
We're like, oh, that's really obvious.
Yeah. I love that.
Hey, P, I'm going to ask you your questions.
Oh, great.
I'll just one at a time. So I'll ask you one, then you can ask me one of my ones. Do you want to do that?
All right.
So you sprung that on you. I'm like, surprise! Okay, so, this is a good one. Should I build a group?
A Facebook group?
A Facebook group instead of a Facebook page? Question mark. So this is a real question that P gets asked, and you're gonna answer it. Should I build a Facebook group?
Did you send that in? Because I just saw your email today. Facebook group.
Lost.
No. That was I put that in days ago. How funny is that?
You didn't.
I did.
No.
Okay, so should I build a Facebook group? Now, this is a really interesting question, and I get it all the time, and it's different for different people, and it's different for different businesses. The first thing I will say, running a group is a lot of hard work. It's not as easy as a Facebook page because you've got to keep that audience engaged and commenting all the time. And just because you build it doesn't mean everyone's going to flood to the gates and knock on the door and go, let me in. So it's different for different people. The question I'd ask my clients when they ask me this is, why do you want to have a group? You know, what's the long-term goals? What are you trying to achieve? And see if we can fit those in. Would it be better? So this question is instead of a Facebook business page. Yeah. So
actually, you can ask both because I think
I'll
both.
ask both.
Yeah.
So sorry. So look at the long-term picture of what you're trying to achieve. Some some businesses work really well in a group setting where everyone can engage. So that works out really well. Some businesses don't work in a group capacity, and the best thing for them to do is maybe utilize feeder groups. So they could do the same sort of thing but using groups in the same sort of genre or where their target market is sitting. The question is, should I build a Facebook group instead of a Facebook page? No. Always start with your Facebook page. And the reason why is you want to think of the long-term picture. And you can't get any traction on a Facebook group without a Facebook business page. You know, if you want to do advertising and open up your audience to a wider view through Facebook advertising, you do need a personal profile and a business page to do that. So I would always say, you know, build your Facebook business page and then utilize your group. What's really great now is with the new, this is long-winded, sorry.
No, it's good, because it's practical information and it's your gig, so totally go.
What's great about Facebook is they've linked the business pages to the groups, so that makes a massive difference, and you never used to be like that. So you can sling and get people into your business and your group because they're all joined together, which is great.
Does it just make it faster than to get someone into your group? So how's the linking made it?
So you've got to think about how people research. So say they saw you in an ad and then they went to your page and you were engaging on the page, and then they wanted to see more information, or they wanted to look at your live videos. And then when they're looking at your page on the side, it says the groups there. So you're like, oh, she has a group. Yeah, cool. And a good example was Monique, who's probably left very quickly because I made her come in. I was researching her for a podcast show, and I discovered that she has a group, and I never knew. I've known her for a while. Yeah. I followed her for a while, but I didn't actually know she had a group that she ran. And I found it through her Facebook page. So, you know, you've got to lead your clients, make it very easy for them.
So, Pete, I'm just going to add to that because I sent out an email to my database tonight. So, hi if you're on my database. And I haven't had a free Facebook group ever. I've never, ever had one. It's never been part of my strategy. And I've always had a paid group. So if you're a client of mine, you come into a group where there's a membership just to stay in there. And so part of me was exploring the idea of, I wonder if there's a need. I'll ask the group. You go, what do you think? And actually, P, you asked me this afternoon, what was the feedback? Oh my God, it is a dead 50-50. But everyone's like hardcore extreme. So they're like, a hell yeah, or they're a hell no, don't want another group, there's too many groups. Because I also put in my thing that there's a lot of amazing business groups out there. I belong to some incredible ones. I'm a huge advocate for like the We group, for example. And I was like, no one needs a bloody another group, right?
Yeah, that's
but
right.
I was like, are there some missing parts, like imperfect action and sales? So the feedback was extreme, man. It's like a tug of war. It's bloody interesting.
But what's great there about that is actually the fact that you've gone to your email list and asked. So, you know, if
I never normally would ask. I'd just be like, I'm doing what I want. I'm a cat on the escalator, remember?
Yeah. And I think that's something that you've got to think about is, you know, ask the question, ask the audience, you know, is this something you need? And that's what I was talking about, I think last week, about the whole Christmas offer. And I was offering something that my clients didn't need, and then, you know, changed that to something that they did need. But I asked them, what do you need over this period? And I sold out. So, you know, really taking the plunge and saying, hey, you know, do you want this? And I think that's great.
Okay, cool.
That's great.
I had someone who wanted to jump in.
Yep.
But they've got no camera or audio. So I was like, well, you can't jump in.
No. Well, they can just ask questions.
I said you can ask questions.
So one of the questions for Nat, so we'll just go to Nat, one of Nat's questions. I am an ideas person. I love creating, but I'm a terrible finisher, and I end up overwhelmed. Help.
P, did you write this question?
I didn't. You did that. You set me. She set me up. I did not write that.
Oh my God, that is funny. It's not you.
Finish stuff.
It's not you.
No.
it's a question I get asked a
Yeah,
lot. So
yeah.
my business is about attracting high creators, high achievers, right? And one of the things that we have about us is that we're ideas people, but we can at times lack the discipline to finish something. So a question that I got in the other week, which is just a repetition of what I'm getting in all the time, is, what do I do with these ideas and how do I choose one which is a good one? So here's the big ups to a business plan and a very simple business plan. Like my business plan is on one page. That's how simple it is. You can use your business plan. So when you get a cool idea, you can actually use quite an analytical view. Like, does this idea fit my plan? And is it going to take me to where I want to go in a year's time? Like, check that one there too. Because as women, we're quite connected emotionally to a lot of our things. So I call it it's just a masculine energy approach, the analytical approach. But also check in. Is it an absolute hell yeah? And often if it is a hell yeah idea, you as the high achiever will become obsessed with it and run it out until it's until it's completely finished. And I think that you'll know if it's not the right idea because the next day you won't have naturally actioned it. So I think this definitely needs to check in against a business plan and then check in energetically. Hell yeah. Just we've got to be careful that a lot of your ideas as a creative, you don't come out of alignment to your business.
Yeah.
Do you want to add anything in there, P?
No, I think you're... I got distracted, sorry.
You're not saying something funny? You're ridiculous, Pauline. Yeah. Tiny House of... Thank you, Jamie. Jamie, if you're listening.
I don't need that.
Absolutely.
Comment. Yeah, well, Jamie's just mentioned, groups are a lot of work, but they can be worth it. There are big payoffs. So, I mean, that's totally true. They can be big. So, yeah, get your advice on groups. Sorry. But, I think you're absolutely right with what you said. I mean, I get distracted all the time. It's hard to stay on task, on brand.
Did you just... So, P just dropped her microphone. This is awesome. I like that you did that. I'm just going to check in, see if you guys have just jumped in. Remember, hey, this is Andy, who helps us in the studio. He doesn't... Oh, damn him, he's taking... I'm on the camera. You can't see Andrew, but he's just helping Pete at the moment. If you've just jumped in to join us, we are offering people to jump in a hot seat where you can actually get our advice if you're starting or trying to grow your business. Otherwise, P and I are sharing tonight what our frequently asked questions are and answering them for you to give you guys a little bit of, sometimes just a different perspective of stuff.
This show's adventurous.
We are adventure. We're adventuring.
Just checking you can hear me, Andy.
Yep. Testing. Okay, Pete. So, another question for you.
Yep.
Oh, this is good because this is such a real problem. I find this isn't me. I'm not saying this case. This is a question. I find social media so hard having to put different information on all the different sites. Have you got any ideas in how to make this easier?
Yeah.
How long you guys got?
Yeah, so this is about how to repurpose content. I've had a lot of people ask me, one, what does repurpose content mean? And how do I do?
Yeah.
What do I do? So one of the things that works really well for myself and I teach my clients is have a system. Put a system in place on how to do it, first off. So what does repurpose content mean? So if you build you have a video, where does that go afterwards, and how many times do you share that out, and what's the trail? So a quick and easy way to do that would be to have a Trello board. I'm really big on Trello. I was totally against it for so long, and have a template on anything you do. Design a template on how. So especially if you've got staff and they're helping you.
Yeah.
I would advise. Especially, it is hard when you're the one person in your business, but when you can, get an admin to help you and then give them the task of repurposing your content. So if you're doing a video, where does it go next? Does it go up on Twitter? Does it go with a different message on your Facebook page? Then do you make it shorter for Instagram? And then does the whole video with the template, with the notes go onto your website? So there's no one program to do it all. There's a lot of programs that you can use, but the message is all the same across, which I don't agree with. Like, I'm big on trying to put content out that is different, because if you imagine if you really love someone and you followed them across everything and they put the same thing out across everything at the same time, it's almost like they don't value the fact that you follow them, so I would change up the messaging on different places and put them in different times. Schedule them up. I mean, I'm definitely big on scheduling. So I just have a process of, we do a video. It first goes up on the website, and it, have these, does it have links? Make sure it's set up right. And then once it's done, it's on the website first, then you share it out. If you've got Twitter, you put it out and schedule it on Twitter with different messages. So I have a rule where I'll post something over the month 10 times, and that's not too much, because you remember on Twitter things go really, really fast. So it doesn't mean your whole audience is going to see it and they're going to be on at different times. So, and I'll change up those messages so it's not the same thing. It's the same link, but it's not the same thing. And then sometimes I add photos, and sometimes I'll have a clip of the video, and then I schedule it into Facebook and Instagram. So there's not really, I know how people will just want press one button and goes
hey, if it was that easy, everyone would frickin' do it, right?
Yeah. I mean, you've always got to remember, and this is probably not what they wanted to hear. They probably didn't want to, but the thing is, just put a template and a guide, and so when I'm doing new content, I will I make a checklist which I save, and then I move that checklist so that my admin, the wonderful Mandy, can process and do that, and then you cross it off so it's been done. I mean, how do you do it? You do it the same sort of way, right?
No, I'm real. No. See, I find that if you... Okay, so for me, I'm all about imperfect action, right? And me a lot. I'm actually quite fluffy in the sense that when you start out biz, you need to know who you're freaking talking to and be very confident and be clear about who you are, because I believe that your content's the natural extension of who you are.
Yeah.
And so I tend not to overthink my content. And what I find with natural alignment and I go by quarters. If I'm running in quarters, so if I know each week and each month what I'm doing, then my content becomes a natural extension of me. So I don't find it something else I have to do. But I would like to think I'm the queen of repurposing. So if I've done something on my website, I'm going to Instagram story it, then I'm going to naturally repurpose my blog. So I do half of your system, and then I do very much a natural, because I'm all about, a lot of my friends, to them I'm annoyingly consistent. Because I'm very consistent at showing up in my business. Because I don't have a group, I treat my page like a group. So I'm always showing up. And so that natural consistency brings a really cool energetic rhythm to being able to post content and it not being a pain in your ass. It's not for everyone though. I understand that it's not like a blanket method for people. It does take a certain type of person to do that. Without sounding wanky like that, I'm just saying some people find it difficult. So I'm like, outsource it then. Go and get a VA to help you repurpose.
Well, especially when you've got a lot of content.
Yeah, true. Totally.
But yeah, I mean, that's how I do the repurposing. It's not how I do my natural posts, obviously.
Yes.
It's all the link stuff to my podcast, this show.
Oh, yeah, totally.
All that sort of stuff. But yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, there's an element of natural stuff. Like I do the same thing as you, but I find if I don't do this process, nothing goes up. And and then it's when I'm feeling like the need to post something, like my car broke down. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
I have that process in place for myself. So yeah. So hopefully that helped Trista, who asked that question, who sent that to me.
But it's a question that you get asked a lot, right?
Yeah, it totally is. And I mean, there's an element of everyone is different. So it's about, and it's about working That's it. Next question.
You're all very quiet tonight. I have to say that there's lots of you watching, and a lot of you are private messaging me, and it's like, someone get on the Zoom. Don't be scared. No one bites. Only cool people watch our show. I know that Camney, if you're around, if you're on, Camney wanted to this afternoon. She private messaged me and was like, I want to jump on the hot seat. So Camney, if you're around, then come on in.
Come on in. Okay, the next question for Nat.
Oh, yes.
I'd love to hear your thoughts on being yourself, finding your tribe and speaking to them through social media when you are not a bold personality. How can I be authentically enthusiastic when I am naturally shy?
Hey, so that's a really cool question, and I love it because I attract introverts.
Yeah.
Right? I'm attracting the opposite because I don't know if you've noticed, I'm a bit of an extrovert. So often people will relate business success to being loud, maybe over the top, and extroverted, right? So people think that you have to be that to be able to be yourself and to get business success. So the question I say to this when I get the beautiful introverts in is that everyone needs your iteration of how you see the world, your softness, your calmness, what you bring in. And so if you go and try and cookie cutter and try and be like an introvert, that's a new one.
Yeah.
If you try and be an extrovert, then you're not going to come across authentically. So if you're trying to find your tribe and speak to them, you have to be you. And part of one of the biggest successes that I've had since I've been in my business is I know I keep going back to the cat, but just be your cat and just be, someone who is going to attract, like the lighthouse, attract people because they love what you say, but how you say it and how you show up in the world. So to the introverts, your authentic enthusiasm comes from you just speaking your truth and what you really, really want to say. I've got a bit of a tech issue here. Connection interrupted. That's not what we want to hear.
No. I think that's interesting because you don't have to be out there and, like Nat and I mean, but I am introverted,
Yeah, often there's extroverts like you who are introverted, right?
Yeah, so online I'm a little bit more extroverted. You think I'm extroverted, but I'm I'd stay at home and not talk to anyone.
See, I find that so interesting. You've got coloured hair.
I know, I don't
talk
understand.
to me about
I'm just
that.
weird.
But
Totally. So
I
I agree with you. Just be yourself because you will naturally attract your own tribe. Not everyone likes me. Not everyone likes Nat.
What do you mean not everyone likes me?
Yeah. Everyone has their own people that they're naturally attracted to and want to follow. And at the end of the day, as long as you know your stuff and you know your business inside and out and you you become an expert at what you do, that is what attracts people to you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not about the way you look or the way that you talk. It's about your brain.
Yeah, I think so. And I reckon, I still believe it's around it's the confidence. So whatever you're selling or whatever you're talking about, it's your confidence of what it brings to the ideal client. So business can be really complicated, or it's made to be complicated when actually it's actually very simple in its processes.
I mean, it's definitely difficult if you are going to do live videos and things like that. I know one of the things I tell my clients is I tell them to fake it. Fake their confidence.
Oh, yeah.
And just pretend you're someone else with the confidence. Because then what happens is they do it enough, they practice enough, then their natural confidence starts kicking in, and then they're like, oh, I don't even know why I was so scared. That works really well.
I'd like to give that a little bit of an analogy because I like analogies. And funnily enough, on Friday I'm going to be talking at the Personal Trainers Association. Anyway, I love using fitness analogies because I think around confidence, if you're trying to, become a fitness bikini model on stage and you're actually at the beginning nowhere near that to be on stage presence, you can't expect to turn up to the gym, do it for 1 week and be as good as or look like them. And so I know I use that analogy, but it's showing you the extreme of you have to have that journey of doing your first video that makes you nervous, doing a live video that puts yourself out there, speaking your truth. I remember I used to put posts out and I'd shit my pants, I'm so glad my mum isn't on social media. She'd be like, I can't believe you said that. But it's true. I would freak out and my heart would race and I'd be like, what if someone calls me out? But you know what? A lot of people who are in your tribe need you to hear your truth because you're the leader to them.
Yeah. I think, but the thing is, everyone feels like that, right?
Yeah, but I think it's good that we say it.
Yeah. I mean, I felt like that. I still feel like that sometimes. I think, you know. Next question.
Next. Okay. Pete, this is for you. This is hilarious.
Let's not answer this one. Let's move on to the next one.
So this is is this one of your frequently asked questions?
Yes.
How to stop getting distracted? I seem to be all over the place.
Yeah, so this is a question around, more around social media. So I get this a lot where some of my clients are posting and then they get stuck in their news feed. It's not about
like scrolling.
tiny schoolhouses, tiny houses. So yeah, it's how to not get sucked into the news feed all the time.
Yeah.
So it's
apart from tonight, get sucked in.
Yeah, there's a lot of things a lot of things I sort of advise. One of the things when clients come on board, we talk about where they should be. And a lot of people get sucked into groups. You know, this is the whole thing where they're sucked into other people's groups and they're constantly engaging and chatting in the groups. And then they realize 3 hours have gone by and they haven't actually pressed send on the post that they're doing. So we really tailor down the groups that they are going to be in. And I have a rule that they're only allowed in 5.
Well, my rule's 2. You give your people 5. You're so much lenient. That's
I didn't
amazing.
know that. I didn't know you did rules on that. Yeah, 5.
Yeah.
So I do 5 because, only because I like to do location groups.
Oh, yeah.
Niche groups and like the We network, so where business owners can really get to know other business owners and network.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to have some location groups, know what's going on in the community, because that's where you got your finger on the pulse, especially if you are your building is in, you're a retail business and you have brick and mortar.
That's good.
So yeah, I have 5, and then spending 15 minutes a day jumping into the group and engaging. 15 to 20 I try to keep them to, and then having a clear plan on your social. What are you doing for the posts and where you're posting and what you're going to do. And then some of the things I have implemented, and I've implemented this myself when I'm not on projects, I might add, is to take myself off social. So I undo it on my phone. So when I'm not doing big projects,
that's good.
It's a little difficult for me because I am in social. But yeah, I try to get my clients to take it off their phone, so that they have to go to their computer to look, and they can only spend a certain amount of time instead of constantly picking up their phone with notifications. And you were talking about notifications the other day, about commenting and then turning the notifications off. I had never in the whole time. Probably because I need to know what's going on.
Yeah.
But I had never turned off my notifications in a thread.
Oh, and even for someone like you who's like management of so many pages, I'm like, dude, your notifications must be like freaking fireworks. Pew, pew, pew. They would drive me nuts.
They are, like even tonight, I've had
you're ping-ponging
200 notifications and my battery on my laptop is nearly gone.
Your laptop's going to die.
Like it's at 18%. And it was 100% when we sat down 42 minutes ago.
We've actually had some new people jump on.
Yay.
Don't be shy. The Zoom is open. If you want to jump on and just chat with us, it really is about a chat about where you're at, where do you want to go. Like you've got a social media strategist sitting right here who can ask your questions. You've just got me who's just imperfectly awesome, who can help you with your confidence and how to increase your sales. So if you want to jump on and ask us some questions, then please jump on and take the opportunity. Don't be shy. And actually let us know if you're trying to jump on and you can't, because I feel like my thingies are taking ages to load. My thingies.
Yeah, my comments are. I think we may have overloaded our own system, possibly.
Okay,
so stop getting distracted. Oh, Jamie. Hey, Jamie. Jamie's jumping in. Okay, so question for you, Nat.
Yeah.
And I know I get this all the time, but what's the best way to up your conversions?
So when I'm like this, hey, I don't know what I was doing, a bit of a Stevie Wonder dance then. This is a really interesting question because and you'll notice if you actually are watching a lot of our show, is I will take us back to the simplicity in which business is built, which is your ideal client. How well do you know your client? Are you trying to sell hamburgers to vegetarians? And if you are, it doesn't matter what you're trying to do and convince people, your conversions, which actually is a sale, isn't going to happen. So I will always say to someone, do you have the right tribe? Have you attracted the right people? Are you trying to do you know the problems you're solving to those people? Are you making offers? Are you making enough offers? Because when people come down your sales funnel, they're at really, really different stages of how well they know, like, and trust you. So if you're not actually being consistent in making offers, and I call it selling every day, like your sales growth, if you're not in there doing that, then your conversions will slow up. And you know what? At the end of the day, it's a real numbers game. Like, the more people that you have on your database and your website and following you, you're going to convert more. So, some of the big gurus around, they convert from 1% to 3% of their database at times. And so if they've got 80,000 on one list and they're converting 1% of that, and you've only got 100 people on your list and you're bidding yourself up, you just need to take a step back and make sure you're comparing the apples and oranges scenario. So it's a really big question, but I love that kind of to answer it, because somewhere along the line you have overcomplicated it. What noise was that? When the studio makes noises, you're like, henny penny, is the sky falling?
Is someone...
having some slow internet issues. But that's, for me, how do you increase your conversions, is freaking increase your action on your page, increase the action on your business growth. Growth generating actions have to happen every day in your business, and the momentum of that over time is amazing. P, have you got anything you want to add to that?
No, I agree.
Oh, tick, done, boom.
Yeah, totally agree.
So, P, your next question. Oh, this is a good one. I reckon this is a good one. Help. Which platform shall I be on? I love Instagram, but I've been told to stay on Facebook.
Oh, yeah, I get this all the time. I do get this all the time.
Yeah, I can imagine you would.
So, this is not a tricky one, but if you naturally love a platform, I will always tell you to utilize that and use it. For example, one of my clients actually, the other day, she has a massive following on Insta, and you can tell she has different messaging on different platforms, but you can tell she loves Instagram.
Yeah, cool.
But she hasn't figured out how to convert.
This is real life TV, people. Real life.
I think that's an elephant. That business, someone's business. Yeah. So, I will always tell all my clients, you have to have Facebook, you have a business page, a profile, because, that is where a wider audience is. But if you naturally love a platform, I reckon you should work that platform because you love it. And that will show through on your posts. It will show through with your interactions, and you'll be on that platform more and more, so you might as well utilize that. But more than anything, use all the tools that are at your in your tool belt. Instagram has stories. Instagram, you can message businesses and, do campaigns where you can, don't just post. It's not actually just about posting. And so many people come to me and all they do is, well, I post once a day. You've got all these other things like Facebook message, you can private message people, use groups, Facebook advertising, you've got your personal profile, all these things that you can utilize, pull it all together and campaign together. Same with Instagram, you've got live videos that you can do on Insta, you got stories, you got posts, you can message people and engage, you can engage on other people's stories. So don't just think, well, I've posted once a day. Social media
really
is
cool.
actually more than just posting.
That's gold advice.
Gold advice.
Tick, boom. And actually, that rolls really nicely into my question that you've got to ask me, which I get asked a lot.
How do I create consistency in my business.
So for me, cash is king, and so is consistency.
Yep.
So if you're consistent, which I'm consistent, then you're gonna believe that I'm credible and that I'm here to stay and that I'm not a one-hit wonder. I don't know why I've always thought that, but for me, I'm like consistent because of that momentum. And so I think if you can find that the imperfect way, the imperfect action through to consistency is finding what you naturally do and love first. So if you love Instagram stories, if you love audio and you love to write, then bloody hell, do that, build the habit first, and then look at doing video, and then look at emailing your database. For me, there's no point in saying to someone, hey, here's all the strategy that you've got to do when they're not in the habit of finishing and being consistent, because you can actually have automated consistency, which is through a Facebook ad, but again, if you're not targeting that to the right audience and solving an actual problem, but the biggest thing that consistency gives you, it gives you so much clarity. It gives you clarity on who your audience is. It helps you make decisions faster, and it really, really helps you take action, and it stops the second guessing of things. I don't second guess anymore. My branding lady, Kate, she was like, man, you answered those questions so fast. And I was like, you know what? And it could be that I've turned 40, that you get to a stage in your life where you're like, you know what?
Yeah.
Actually, fuck it. This is what I feel. This is what I believe. There are a group of people who are interested in it, and I'm just, what's the worst that's going to happen?
Yeah.
Like, no one watches your live, so thanks for the people who are.
So I find that some people struggle with consistency, don't know how to be consistent.
Yeah.
So it's about training yourself, and it has a lot to do with trust as well. Like,
Totally.
I find trust is trusting yourself that you're not going to fail, or having that niggly thing in the back of your head going, why bother? Because you're going to fail. Yeah.
It's nice.
So one of the things I sort of talk about with my clients is just start with something small.
Yeah.
And, and it doesn't have to, if you don't trust yourself and trust your gut, then start with small stuff. And it could be as simple as consistently doing the dishes every day. Like, just start with the dishes, and then be like, tick, I did it. And then when you don't do it, I knew that would, and then the next day start over. So it sounds so silly, but this is what worked for me. Like, I didn't trust myself. I didn't trust that I'd be consistent. I thought I'd be a failure. So I just started really small, and each time I completed something, it was like, tick, okay, I know I can move to the next thing. And then I would push myself to do something a little bit more challenging. And then, and I find when you've gone from a job to your own business, with the job, you'll have to be accountable to someone. And then suddenly you've got to be accountable to yourself. That's where you sort of like, I think I'll just watch Netflix for another hour, and then I might do a post. Do you know what I mean? Those little things, and then you get to the end of the day and you're like, well, I worked 15 minutes in my business. I don't understand why I'm not making money.
Yeah.
So it's just those little movements forward.
Actually, and just to add on to that too about, finding what you're already consistent at in your life is the evidence of the consistency that already exists. Yeah. And then it's giving you the evidence that, okay, you may not believe in yourself, but actually, again, back to that kind of masculine analytical point of view, goes, well, actually, you're consistent in this, so therefore, you're possibly telling yourself a few porky pies that you actually can be consistent, and it's a little bit about stepping up and into who do you have to be, and, the inner business person in all of us, or the successful businesswoman, man, in 10 years, what would she be saying to you, and who do you have to be and step into?
Yeah, I think that's important too. So I hope that helps. We've had a few comments of apologies from people who wanted to jump in, but my child keeps jumping out of bed for a glass of water. So things like that, I think it's like a bit of timing. And so that's fine. I mean, we've had quite a few questions. Actually,
people, I think it's really cool to be able to show people that is we've got the followings, we've got the people, and no one's jumped on the hot seat. You know, a couple of years ago, you and I would have been attached to that personally and gone, oh, we suck, the show sucks, our stuff sucks. You know, like we don't
suck. Do you know why? Because 7,500 people watched last week's show.
But I think it's just nice for people to see that this is actually the reality of stuff. And a client of mine did this huge launch. She's amazing, and we talked about the actual realities of business, and it's not all what is meant to be out there. So I think it's cool that none of you peeps frickin' jumped on the Zoom, you scaredy frickin' cats.
I must admit, a lot of people watch it the next day.
I think so.
I mean, well, we know so.
Yeah, totally.
Because they tell us. So they're watching on Thursday, and I've got quite a few people messaging me.
Ding.
Yeah. So I really wanted to come on, but I'm trying to put my children to sleep.
Or people have come in quite late tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, hi, Mum.
Hi, Peace, Mum.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've done another show, and I'm kind of stoked.
It's our fifth show.
Yeah, it's our 5th show. I wanted to...
We only have a couple of shows left, though, right?
We've got a few shows left, and then we're taking a bit of a break because
it takes a lot of effort to be here.
Yeah, it does, and we've got a bit of travel, but it's not. It's not the end of the show. It's just people are leaving the country. Not naming names. So next week, please tune in. We've got a few topics. One of the topics I haven't told Nat what we're talking about is who do you need in your CEO team? I thought that was a really cool, having your advisors around you for business and personal life. I find this so valuable, and I thought we could really dive in to who those people were, and it helps if I look at the right camera, who those people are.
Will we be having a guest on?
Yes,
I reckon we have a guest on.
We do have a guest booked in for next week, and that's a surprise because Pauline can't remember who it is. But yes.
Hey, MP, can you stop trying to take my pen? Because it matches your hair, okay?
Yeah, this should be for me.
You can't
I love
keep
those
taking my
pens. I've got a yellow one. I shouldn't complain. So thank you guys.
Hey, thanks everyone. It's been I thought it was a cool show. I got a lot out of it.
Yeah, I loved it. It was good. It was really good.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So that's it. We'll catch up with you guys next week. Same time, same place, same channel.
See you later, guys. Bye. See you later. It was fun.
That was